Hi, future Musketeers. My name is Laura Frazier. I am the Associate Director of Student Success and Academic Advising, and I'm giving this talk to you about three different things: the differences between high school and college, what it means to ride the W curve, and the success team motto we have in place for our students. I recently read a 2013 study that showed that 59% of high school seniors were studying only 6 hours a week, and 95% of those students were getting at least a 3.0 GPA or better. That concerned me because at Xavier, we know that students will need to study 1.5 to 2 times the amount of time they're in class in order to get those same grades. So something to keep in mind as we talk about managing your time and the differences between high school and college. So attendance, study guides, rubrics, critical reading, review sheets, those are all pretty typical in high school, but you really won't find those much in college. The burden is on the student to find out what's going to be on the test, to review the syllabus, to visit a professor during office hours, to make their own study guides, and to make sure the information they have regarding the test is accurate. Also, sometimes in college, maybe 2 or 3 grades will make up your final grade, whereas in high school, you might have 15 or 20 different assignments. So it's really important to look at the syllabus and know exactly how your final grade will be comprised. A huge difference is that high school teachers are trained in educating. That's what they went to college to be. But your professors are professionals in their field. They're researchers and authors and scientists, and they haven't been trained as much on how to teach. So something to keep in mind when you're approaching a faculty member is to have specific questions written down and write their recommendations down as well. One big challenge that students find is that college requires deeper learning. So think of a soccer ball. If I said to you we were going to have a test on a soccer ball, chances are you wouldn't study. But if I asked you if the black shape and the white shape on the soccer ball were the same, could you answer that question with 100% certainty? And what's the mathematical formula that determines how many seams has to sew that leather together? Those are questions that you might not be able to answer because you're recognizing information now. You're not really learning it on a deeper level, on an application level, on a critical level. So think about what is working for you in high school now, and we want to use every same support system you have and continue that in college. So if you're getting accommodations, if you're taking part in any sort of therapies or using any medications, we want those to be continued in college. August would not be the right time to change a medication or discontinue any sort of treatment that is helping you now. We also want to make sure you understand the metrics, the numbers that make for a successful first year. So your GPA will be calculated by credit hour. Another metric is called your completion rate, which looks at the amount of credit hours you attempt versus the amount that you've actually earned. So if a student takes 20 credit hours but only passes 10 of those, that 50% completion rate can put your financial aid at jeopardy. And every bachelor's degree requires 120 credit hours. If you do the math, you know that you need 15 credit hours per semester. We want you graduating in 4 years, and I think your family would likely want that too. So understand the metrics you need to complete your degree and make progress towards your degree in 4 years. Another big difference is the time between classes in high school and the time between your classes in college. You might have Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday the same, Thursday's different, and Friday's different altogether. So think about how you'll manage your time with those big chunks of unstructured time in between your classes so that you have also time to relax and hang out with friends and do some of the fun things you want to do when you get to campus as well. It also boils down to knowing what your goals are and being able to align your actions to those goals. So if your goal is to have a 3.0 or a 3.5 GPA and join 2 clubs, that's great. And we're going to make sure you have an action plan in place to get you where you want to be. Okay, so now let's talk about the W curve. Imagine the W. We start up really high, everything is great. We bottom out, things are not so great. We scratch and claw our way and get things a little better, and then they sometimes bottom out again before we get to the final top. So most college students go through this. It could take a whole year, it could take a semester. The important thing is to know to reach out to your success coach, to a faculty member, to an RA to get the help that's going to get you to the next phase. So we start with the W curve as the honeymoon phase, where you love the food, your roommates, the faculty, the freedom, you're joining some clubs. But a few weeks in, you might start getting some papers back and some tests back. Maybe you've never gotten a D before, or maybe your roommate's mad at you and you don't know why. And you really question whether or not you are cut out for this. Well, I can tell you, after years of success coaching hundreds of students, almost everyone questions themselves at one point or another. The key is to find out what's going on, identify it, and create an action plan to move forward. Because after the honeymoon phase, you'll get concerned with a little bit of culture shock. And then it's, okay, I've got things figured out. We call that initial integration. And then the wheels could fall off again. And you're really feeling some mental isolation, like you're the only one going through this problem. Well, I can assure you, you will not be the only one. And every success coach is trained to help students identify what's going on and create a plan to move you out and into the place where you're really successfully integrated into our campus. So think about that over the summer. What's going to get you integrated in our campus community? Beyond clubs and other resources, there's on-campus employment, there are activities through the Student Activities Council. So think about what you can do and then have a backup plan as well. Because if you were going to join the business club, but then you changed your major and now you're an education major, you'll have to find out what opportunities are available there. The key is knowing what is going to make you a happy musketeer. And when you think about the W curve, think about the lens through which you see your life. So I've been reading a lot of research by Carol Dweck on growth mindset, and I teach my students to be really open to recognizing if they are feeling like they're victims of their circumstances or creating their circumstances. Is your glass half empty? Is your glass half full? Is that situation you are faced with a problem, or is it an opportunity? I was talking with a student about parking on campus and how frustrated he was about having to park over by the Cohen Center. And he felt that it was the parking that was making him late for class. But it wasn't the parking. It was the fact that he's not getting up early enough to find a place to park and get to class on time. So think about that over the summer. What is the lens you use to look through to look at your challenges? Are you a victim of what's going on, or are you a creator? And that will really help as you start to problem solve from the minute you step on campus. Okay, so what is the success team that Xavier has prepared for you? Well, it's a 4-person team that's assigned to you from day one. You can get information about your team on your road to Xavier. But I will tell you that the success coach is your team's quarterback. I'm a success coach for students in the psychology major, and we have 28 coaches that work with every first and second year student. What do we talk about? We talk about all the things I talked about earlier. The W curve, managing your time, having a difficult conversation with your roommate, bringing home a grade you didn't expect, what to do if you're not quite sure about how to change your major, or what club to get involved in, or how to find out if there's a rideshare board. All those things we are expert at helping you navigate. We're like your back pocket resource. In addition to the success coach, you'll have an academic advisor. This will likely be a faculty member in your field, and they will help you with course selection in October and in March, in reviewing your degree audit, and maybe waiving a class or subbing a class out for something else, reviewing your AP credit, making sure that all your core curriculum attributes will be satisfied, and really knowing what your academic journey will look like at Xavier. So you'll have your coach, you'll have your academic advisor, and you'll also have a career coach. You might wonder, does Xavier really want me meeting with a career person as a first-year student? Absolutely. We have employers looking for interns. We have on-campus employment opportunities. We know you're experienced, and we want to make sure your resume reflects that. We'll have a career fair on September 24th, and we want first-year students attending there. We have career assessments that you can take online, and your career coach will go over those with you. So you say, gosh, I'm in nursing now, but I'm really enjoying my social work class and might want to change to social work. Great, but let's look at those options before you actually make that leap and talk to a career advisor about what's going on in those fields, because we know the finish line is graduation in 4 years, getting a job in your field, and being able to support yourself working as a young professional. Your last team member is your financial aid advisor. That is the person over in Schott Hall that will make sure all your aid has been applied, that it's optimized, you've completed all your paperwork, and that is the person you'll want to contact with probably 2 or 3 times a year just to make sure everything is checked and that there are no surprises when it comes time to pay your bill. So 4 people assigned to you and explained to you. This team will be explained to you at your GOA class. That's your Core 101. It's a 0 credit class but required for graduation. I teach a GOA class, and so do 40 other university administrators. It just meets 6 times in the fall and 6 times in the spring, and we will show you how to access all these people that are put in place to help you have a great first year at Xavier. So now what? It's summertime, graduation's over, and what can you be doing in the summer to get ready for your first year of college? Let's review. Set your goals and see if your actions are aligned with your goals. Start small. Think of something you want to do this summer. Set that goal and develop an action plan to move you there. Look at the lens that you're looking through your life with. Is your glass half empty or is your glass half full? Another biggie is a calendaring system. What do you use to keep track of where you need to be and what you need to do? Every student needs a system that's going to work for him or her. So figure out what your system's going to be and start using it so when you start college, it's not that big of a transition. And get enough sleep. Researchers know that sleep-deprived students operate as if they've had a concussion. So think about that now, how you can manage your sleep when you're away from home, and we can't wait to see you on campus. Thanks.